And now we'll take a look at this Riccar here on the left. I know I've made a video on my Simplicity before, but I thought I would bring it out just for comparison purposes because they are both Tandem Air machines and they were produced in the same, kind of during the same time. So the Simplicity version of this would have been called the Synchrony, and then we had the Synergy as the top of the line. And in Riccar, this one was Brilliance, and the top of the line was Radiance. Now, there are some differences between them, the Simplicity and Riccar, but they're, from what I remember, they're all style differences. And now that Simplicity has been taken away from the being a retailer exclusive and is being sold in stores, we don't really see either of these machines being produced in the Simplicity name. I believe they're all Riccar now. And I know that they have taken some of the designs and melded them together, because we have the cutout style handle now on the new Riccars, as to where on the, it used to be, the Simplicities had the full cutout and the Riccars didn't. I mean, the body style is still the same. So, I mean, if you were to put a Simplicity Synchrony bag cover on here, you'd have the handle. And then the headlight was the other thing I can remember. Oh yeah, and the filter grate too. On the Simplicity, the lines were done vertically all the way across the bottom here from what I remember. But on the Radiance and Synergy, they both had the filter on the side. But two headlights, one headlight, that was a Simplicity and Riccar thing. That's all that really comes to mind at the moment. But both of these are Tandem Air machines. The bag is a little bit different on them, and they color coded them. This is just a generic bag, but this one uses a blue color, this one uses a yellow color, and I think the opening on this bag is just a little bit bigger, which would make sense being a upper line machine. And then the filter size is a little bit different here. This is our pre-motor filter, and then we have the pre-motor filter here, clearly quite a bit taller. I know there was a change between the motors. I believe the clean air motor is a little bit bigger in the upper line units, and I didn't want to shell out for a HEPA filter, so I just took some electrostatic material and put it into here. So we might see CFM numbers that are just slightly higher than normal because I don't have a HEPA filter in it, but who knows. And then the other big difference between the two of them, besides things like the warranty, and I have a feeling the cord length's probably a little bit different too, but I guess I'm not sure. I don't really pay too much attention to things like that. But these have a 2-row brush roll, and I really haven't spent much time cleaning this. I mean, it's a little dirty, but it's not bad. And I figured, the machine's only... Oh, would you look at that? Clearly it's been opened at some point. I think I'm going to have to fix that real quick. That's going to bother me. And then on the top of the line machines, like the Radiance and the Synergy, we had a 3-row brush. And I want to say that the path on this is just a little bit wider too. I'm not sure about that, but I think it might be. And then the fill tube's a little bit differently sized here. It's definitely wider on the upper line versions, a little bit narrower on these, at least to the floor. The hose passed the same size. So, I mean, there's definitely differences between the two of them. There's no doubt about that. And then the 30D would have been the bottom of the line, because when they introduced the new R and S30 models, which, you know, they had a longer hose with a little magnetic piece on them to kind of allow them to fall back in that spot. They put a longer handle or whatever you want to call it on this, so it makes it a little bit more obvious to people when it's in hose mode. You know, they made some changes. I know they changed the direct air motor fan, and at some point they were using Samsung motors in these things, but I couldn't tell you what's in here. You know, I figured being 2 or 3 years old, it doesn't really need to be completely torn apart like most. Alright, so let's take the voltage and wattage. So let's start it in the single motor. And then now we'll turn on the brush roll. Turn off the brush roll. And now let's put it in hose mode. Alright, so we'll take the airflow at the end of the hose here, and I suppose I can zoom out now. So let's turn this on. I will take the suction. Now I just want to say, I know I've had some issues trying to measure my synergy before, so I mean, I always think these should be taken with a grain of salt, just because, you know, there's going to be a lot of variables in them. So I always kind of look at them as a ballpark, but I don't know. It's like with what I've seen from my other one, these are a little more finicky than some, and I'm still not sure why, but we'll go ahead and do it anyways, just to kind of get that ballpark. Alright, so we just have the suction motor. Interesting. Okay. We're gonna go with that. There's still a fair amount of air coming out of here, so clearly we're not that well sealed. But now let's turn the brush roll on. So now we've got tandem air. Don't seem to be climbing any. So I think we'll just end on that. We take the suction. Okay, so I've got this set on auto, which is usually where I run it, but I might try the high mode too, just to see if we do get a little bit more agitation out of it, because I know these machines do definitely display some of that. So, we'll get on with this. That's on auto. This is a high. You know, I know there's a lot of people that don't care for Tacony products, and I think a lot of the people who do are, I think it's kind of a personal thing with them. You know, because I know they used to have the museum, and we had a well-known collector in there who acted as the curator, and, you know, I would be lying if I said I wasn't annoyed by that myself. It's like I always looked forward to going down there and seeing that. But I mean, since they've ended it, some things have come out about them, and I don't know. It's like I still think they make a pretty good cleaning product, but from what I've heard in recent years from people still in the industry, they just aren't the company they were when I was working at that shop. Because, I mean, you know, I always felt kind of good seeing a Simplicity go out the door, because I knew, you know, that there was going to be support for them, you know. And when we started off after the manager passed away, these machines were a little bit intimidating to us, but, you know, if we needed it, we could call Tacony and we could speak with people, and they would kind of walk us through how to work on them. And, you know, I mean, the support, you know, was there for the customer, the support was there for the retailers, and now it just isn't, from what I've heard. And it, you know, from what people told me, it seemed like there were more machines that were going out that were defective, so maybe the quality check wasn't there. And of course, one of the big things they pushed, you know, was that these machines were assembled in the US, and now they have the S20 or R25 line out, and those are made over in China, you know. So it was disappointing to see some of their line going away from US assembly. I mean, I'm probably just being a little opinionated on that, but I don't know. I kind of feel like, you know, they had some of the better vacuums in the industry, at least, you know, available new. And I don't know, they just kind of made some missteps, which is a shame, because, I mean, these are a solid product. But, you know, I know they have their critics, and I will say, yeah, they are definitely over-engineered, and I don't think the concept of Tandem really needs to exist, because we can see this level of performance from machines which had a dual motor system. You know, just having a simple air path on it and such, it's possible to recreate these results, you know, without having the risk of that, you know, exposed direct air motor. Well, maybe I shouldn't call it a risk. I mean, I don't mind direct air machines. It's kind of unnecessary, though, in this situation when you have a dual motor system. You know, because we don't see that big a performance boost in using it. But anyways, I suppose I should stop ranting on this. Thanks for watching, guys.